Okay, good afternoon once again, class. Today we're going to continue discussing our linear programming involving a cash flow. The cash flow entails the requirement to minimize the initial investment and also uh, come up with a cash plan so that the company will have at the beginning of the third month they will be able to draw out 2.5 million to pay their supplier. Also at the beginning of the fifth month and at the beginning of the seventh month. So 2.5 million, 2.5 million, and 3 million. So these are the cash flow requirements. So we need to define what will be the initial cash, but we don't know this. How much should they invest? Okay, so that at the beginning of the third month, they'll be able to draw out 2.5. At the beginning of the fifth month, they'll be able to draw out also 2.5, and also, of course, maintain a specific cash investment in this instruments, so that they're able to raise 3,000 at the beginning of the seventh month. So this is a sinking fund. It means that everything here is specifically earmarked for this project. All right. So we have identified our decision variables. Our decision variables include the following: Treasury bill A, that's TBA. Number one here, as I mentioned a while ago, this refers to the outflow. We're going to invest this in month one. TBB1 is also the instrument TBB invested in month one. Okay, this is CPA1, CPB1. All of these are invested in the first month. And then this one, TBA2, etc. Okay, so since we're only interested in the cash flow that will be generated up to the beginning of the seventh month, we should be able to identify what are the possible cash flow that will enter the picture. Okay, C1 definitely prepared kasi 1 month lang duration yan. So the outflow is 1, the inflow is 2. It means that they'll be able to terminate or finish this investment and get kaya nga inflow. At the start, it will be an outflow. At the end, it will be an inflow. Okay, 1 and TBB1 is outflow is now, and then inflow is 3 because the term of TBB is 2 months. Okay, we're given here the availability. Okay, also for TBA4, okay, this occurs every 4 months. All right. So, no, sorry, this is TBA. No, I'm mistaken here. This is TBA. So this is this type of an investment, and it will be invested in the fourth month, and it will mature at the beginning of the fifth month. Okay, so let's take a look at this cash flow, and we said that knowing the outflow, which is when the cash will go out of the company, when it will be invested. The inflow is when they'll be able to terminate, or the maturity of the investment that will be at the inflow. All right, so we can identify the factors that are involved in this cash flow. Okay, so for month one, at the beginning of the month one, we have to identify what are the cash flows that will enter the picture and plot out what will be the factor for that specific investment. So for month one, you only have 4 possible investments, right? So this is TBA1, TBB1, this will be invested at the beginning of the month. Okay, you actually only have 4 types of investment: TBA, TBB, CPA, CPB, and all of them can be invested every month. I mean, at the first month. So that's why we have 4 investments here. Okay, so let's plot the factor for TBA1. Is this a cash inflow or a cash outflow? Is it a cash inflow or a cash outflow? Answer is, class, it's a,
I think it's outflow.
yes,
Beginning of investment.
correct. It's a cash outflow. TBA1 will, as you can see from here, outflow, inflow. TBA1, this is on month 1. At the beginning of month 1, we put out this specific amount, TBA1. Okay, so therefore the factor as far as TBA1 is concerned, when I say the factor, to get that amount, you multiply the factor by the investment. So for example, if the investment for TBA1 is 100,000, what will be its factor? The factor will be -1. Okay? -1, why -1? Because when you multiply -1 by that 100, then that's the outflow. That's the amount that will be invested. Okay, so what will be the factor for the factor for TBB1? It will be same thing, -1 also. Why -1? Why -1? Anyone, please?
Still outflow po.
Yes, outflow. And then if you multiply that with whatever TBB1 is, then you'll get that investment, right? You get me, class? -1 is just a factor that you multiply to your amount, your principal amount, to get the total amount. Okay, how about CPA1? The factor is also -1. Notice it's negative because these are outflows, and which can be seen here. All the negative ones here in the outflow, as far as TBA, TBB, TCPA, and CBB1 is concerned, lahat sila dito negative. Okay? Sorry, -1. Okay, any questions? Okay, may I request, class, for your feedback? Yes, if you got it. No, if you didn't get it. These are just the factors. So if you're interested in the amount, then you multiply that with the decision variable. Okay, I'm waiting for your response, class. I'd like to know if you got what I'm discussing, or you want me to repeat. Okay, thank you. Who else? I've got only 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 responses. How about the others? I would appreciate your feedback, please. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Okay, so for TBA1, its outflow is month 1. Its inflow is month 2. So if you take a look at this timeline here, when will be the inflow for TBA1?
2.
Okay, month 2, right? Month 2. And so let's do something here. Let's put here, okay, let's put here the amounts. So this will now refer the amounts that we're going to invest. Okay. These are the amounts. All right. And let's also put here, insert here, Okay. Then let's put here the rate, because we will be needing the rate in order to determine our cash flows. What's our rate for, where's that? What's our rate for TBA? It's what?
1.80.
Yeah, it's 1.8%, right? This is 1.8. For TPB, it's 3.5%. Let me just copy that, CPA, CPB. And then TBA, all the TBAs have 1.8%. So TBA is 1%. TBB is 3.5%. TBA is 1.8%. CPA is 5.8%. And TBA, TBB, and of course we could have used a VLOOKUP for this. No? But anyway, since we're here, TBB, TBA. Okay. So we're also, at the same time we're discussing, we're building up our model. So these are our decision variables. Okay. So what will be since we have identified the inflow factors for this one, what will be our outflow factors? What will be our inflow factors? Month 2. So for TBA1, what will happen?
It will add the yield.
Okay. So we invested TBA on the first month. So ang factor niya, -1. So the factor for month 2, as far as TBA is concerned, will be equal to
1 times 1.80. I mean,
1. Okay,
plus.
1. Okay, plus
1.80.
1.8%. All right. So this will now be the factor for at month 2 for TBA1. Am I correct, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then for TBB1, and just copy this. And then any other factors, class? Oops, sorry. Is this correct? Is that correct, class?
Sir, I think that's for month 3.
Yes, correct. So this should be month 3. Okay. Yeah, very good. That's correct. Why month 3? Because TBB, Treasury Bill B, has a 2-month maturity. So if we invested it at the beginning of the month, first month, then its maturity will be at the beginning of the 3rd month. Okay. Also CPA, right? It's a 3-month duration. So this becomes first month plus 3, so that will be the 4th month. And then here, so that's 6 months duration. So this will be, sabi nga dito, no? Wait, CPB, ano yung CPB? Okay, 6 months. Okay. All right. Any other cash flow on month 2? Because we need to plot all the cash flow factors, whether it's an inflow or an outflow. We have to plot it here. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes, class, to key in the factors here, just the factors. Okay, and then we'll compare notes. Yeah. Let me pause recording and please remind me, class, to continue recording. I'll pause first. Okay, are you done, class? Kindly chat, please, if you're done. Okay, about the others, please. Let's wait for the others to map the factors in our timeline. Okay, so I hope everybody's done. Okay, let's compare notes, class. Let's see if you have the same plot of the factors. Just put some border to it. Okay. All right. So for TBA1, which is an investment that will be loaded on the first month and then it will mature on the second month. For month 1, it will be -1. Okay, maybe let's make the factor uniform. Okay, there, for uniformity. All right. So it will, -1 here means it's an outflow on the first month, and on the second month, it will be an inflow. It's positive. So it's an inflow on the second month. All of this class are negative, and therefore they're all outflows on the first month. And that's of course correct because you have 4 investments, TBA1, TBB1, CPA1, CPB1, are all investments that will be placed on the first month. Okay, that's why they're all -1. There are no other investments that will be made on the first month, only these 4, because there are only 4 types available. TBA1, TBA, TBB, CPA, and CBB. Okay? So only 4 different types. So we have this factor, which means it's an investment. And then if we trace each of them, okay, let's trace each of them. TBA1, it will mature. Yes, Earl?
Sir,
Yes.
I'm not sure bakit yung TBB3 is 5.8. Hindi ba dapat
Sige.
3.5?
Ano natin? I'm sure may mali ako dito, no? But that's why we're going to review, no? Na medyo na ano ko kanina, medyo sorry. I I got I picked up some wrong values. All right. Okay, so for TBA1, it will be invested on the first month and will mature on the second month. When it matures, the factor will be positive, and it will be net. It will include the rate of 1.8% for TBA1. For TBA2, for TBB1, okay, if you plot the factors, it will be invested in the first month and it will mature on the third month with a factor of 3.5%. This is correct. So for CPA1, it will mature. Okay, CPA1, it will mature on the fourth month, beginning of the fourth month, and the factor is 5.8. And for CPB, it will mature on the seventh month. And the factor is 1.11. Okay? Then for TBA2, the investment will be on the second month. So we need this outflow and the inflow to determine what will be the factor for the first and the second, for the outflow and the inflow. All right, so this is an outflow on month 2. That's why you have -1 there. And it will be an inflow on month 3. Okay, so month 3, inflow siya, it's positive. TBA the same. Okay, on the third month, it will be an outflow. That's why here you have on the third month, it's an outflow. And on the fourth month, minimize the shade. Okay, it's TBB, that's 3.5%. So where am I? Third and fourth. Okay, this is third and fourth. So 3. Is that TBB? No, sorry. Third and fifth. Third and fifth. Okay. Now, did I commit any mistake here? You were referring to this 1.01. Okay. All right. Kindly check, please, if I have made any mistake here. Okay. All right. So I think okay na tong natin, no? Our factors are okay. All right. So all the negatives here will be the outflows. All the positives here will be the inflows. Now there are blank cells. There are blank cells which can either mean that the investment has not yet been done or the investment has already matured. Okay? And there's another thing, that the investment has not yet matured. It has already been made, the investment has been made, but it has not yet matured. Okay, so for example, this one. At time 2, TBB1 has already been invested, but it has not yet matured. So to distinguish between those that are already matured or that have not yet been invested, let's put a symbol here. Let's put just an arrow, 1, 2, 3, there. All right. So what we're going to do is for those that have already been invested but not yet matured, then let's put this sign. So this one goes to Control C, Control V, here, then Control V, Okay, so what else? This one. It has to be up to 6th month. Okay. All right. Then I'd like to have your your comment, class, if you were able to get this. If you have the symbol to indicate that the investment is open. The investment has not yet matured. It has already been opened, but it has not matured. So that we are able to distinguish between these blank ones. The blank ones are those that are either already terminated or not yet invested. Once again, your comment, please. All right. Okay. I hope you are able to follow. Okay, how many groups do we have today? Okay, group 7, none. All right, I'll open now 9 groups. And then I'll let you in the group. And I want you to discuss now. Okay, this is what we're going to do. And then you're going to, this will only take 15 minutes. And then you will, I'll open in Canvas a folder. So you will have to submit your answer. 15 minutes only. This is a short exercise. I want you, class, to maybe you save this one, or you create another copy there so that you can maintain this and then just manipulate here. So let me first open the breakout session because I want you to do something. Okay, hold on. Breakout rooms. Please use the breakout room of your group reflected in the Google Sheet. So for example, si Erwin, si Jobil, group 1 kayo, no? Should be group 1. The Vera Venus, group 2. Okay. So I'll open, don't enter yet, open all rooms. So it's now open. So what are you going to do? Okay, you go to your rooms and then, okay, so this is, what are you going to do? How did we do this? We did this manually, right? We did this manually. So now, erase, delete everything, and then just one formula here. Just one formula, copy everything to all the other cells so that you have this. Okay? You should have this with just one formula. Just one formula. Okay, of course, it will be an if formula. Okay? All right. So 2:15 by my time now, you have only up to 2:30. Okay, unless you ask for a few minute extension. All right. I want you now to go to your breakout rooms, please. Please join your breakout rooms with your group mate, and then you discuss how are you going to create that one formula, copy it to all the other cells, so that the what you have is the factors that we did manually. I'll let everybody share so that you can discuss with your group. "15 minutes only, class." Let me also pause recording. Okay, your task was to create one formula to capture all these factors, including fact -1 if the investment is an outflow, the 1 plus the rate for the investment that has matured, and then this symbol if it's open, if it's an open investment, and nothing, no mark here, if it's neither any of them. Okay, so let's delete this. So we just need one formula. All right. So just apply just the logical. Ba't may ganito to? The logical reasoning for this. Okay. How do we know it's -1? How do we know if it's plus? How do we know if it's initial investment? If it's an investment.
If it is an outflow po.
Okay, correct. If it's an outflow, then it should be -1, right? So what do you pair? Okay, can you open the canvas? Sandali lang ha. All right. Let me pause recording. Okay. Okay. So this is what we want. This is the table that we want generated using just one formula here in the first cell. So how many different values do we have here? We have -1. We have the 1 plus the rate. You also have this symbol that the investment is open. Okay, and then you also have you have these empty cells. Okay, so we have 4 possible values. So every time you make use of the if statement, okay, one if statement, take a look at the syntax. If, right, you have the logical test, value if true, value if false. So one if statement will cover 2 values, right? So since you have 4 values here, 4 possible answers, then we need 3 if statements. Because it's always the number of choices minus 1. That's the number of if statement you will have to create. So it's a nested if. So you'll have to have if statement in an if statement. Okay, so you'll have to identify your answer one at a time. Okay, so let's copy this. Let me copy it here. And let me delete this. Okay, so I'd like to replicate this one. Okay, so first, let's address the -1. You have the months here, the months in which the cash flow will happen. Okay. So we first start with our first if statement. So it's if. Okay. If, what's our logical test? This line is all about TBA1, right? Okay, we'd like to test if TBA1 at this point at month 1, is it an inflow or an outflow? Or is it an inflow? So how do we first check if it's an inflow? Where do we? Okay, wait, have I? Okay, I'm recording. All right, how do, at this point, at this month 1, is TBA1 an outflow or an inflow? Or is it something else? What's TBA1?
Outflow.
Outflow, no? How do you know? How do we know it's an outflow?
Cell 06.
So, yes, 06. This information tells us that on month 1, TBA1 is an outflow. So in order to test whether a particular investment anywhere here is an outflow or not, we go here, we go to this column, because this column tells us that these are outflows, right? And it will take on -1. So if this cell, we compare the month, right? If this is equal to this, okay, then it should get a value of -1. Otherwise, let's leave it blank first. Let's test this first. Now, we're going to copy the formula to all the cells. And what we want is that, what we're checking is this, are these months. So dapat, your Y5 should, next time it should move to Z5, AA5, etc. It should not leave this row. Okay? It should not leave this row. But can it move to the other columns? Yes, it can move to Y, it can move to Z, but it should not leave row 5. Therefore, what we need to fix here is row 5. Okay, so that should be $5. If you put it $5, then it can move to the other columns, but it cannot move row 5. Okay, how about 06? We're testing whether that particular cell is an investment because it will have a value -1, right? So the test, we know it will be an outflow through this column O. And we don't want that 06, if we copy it to any other cell, we don't want the column to move because the test for the outflow is here at column O. Therefore, this should be F4. It should be $06, all right? So when we copy this elsewhere, it will always be at row 5, and it will be always at row column 06. Okay, so let's first test this. -1, and then if it's not that, if they're not equal, then it should not give us any value. Enter. So this is -1. I'm going to copy it to the right. Notice nothing here. Nothing here. Because as far as this, comparing, for example, this one, comparing month 2 with this outflow here, they're not the same. Therefore, we're not getting any value there. If I copy it down, okay, and then copy to the right, copy everything, see? Diba? -1. Is this -1? Let's check. This is month 2. This is outflow month 2. The same, 2 and 2. So it should be -1. This is 3. This is also 3, -1. This is month 2. The inflow is 4. The outflow is 4. So it should not contain any value. Okay, so that addresses your outflow factor of -1. All right, so next, what do we test? This time we test the inflow. Okay, we test the inflow. So this should become, okay, so instead of value if false, for the value if false, we will now go to the next value. So we create another if statement to test the next one that we want to generate. Okay, so I'm having here a nested if. As I said, If there are 4 possible values, then there should be 3 if statements. So what do we then check? What do we then check, class? When will it be an outflow? Inflow. It will be an inflow if we compare the month with this one. So if this one, again, we fix row 5, F4. If Y5 is equal to, this time, P6. And then we fix again column P. So $5 compared to $P6, if they're equal, then what value should we give it? It will be 1 plus the rate. This is the rate. Okay, 1 plus whatever that rate is. And that rate should also be fixed. It should only move along this column. Okay, so I'm going to fix there column N. All right. And then value if false, let me close that first. Let's check. So I'm closing the first if statement and the other if statement. Control enter. Okay. Notice it's still -1. Why is it -1? Because when we tested this for the first, if they're equal, if this one and one are equal, and they are indeed equal, then we have -1 here. All right, so let's now copy this formula either down or to the right. Let's copy it to the right, there. Okay, there. All right, so we get here now the inflows. Diba? It's a matter of if statement, class. Okay, this is actually a very simple application of your if statement. So it's just a matter of logically thinking, what values do you want to put in this cell? So should it be this one or this one or this one? And then we create the if. All right, so what's next, class? The open. When will it be open? When will an investment be open?
Gap between inflow and outflow.
Okay, if it's between inflow and outflow. Okay, so how should we write that? If it's between inflow and outflow, for example, we are, okay, for example, this one, or this one, 1 and 4. So the investment will be open if it's between month 1 and month 4. That means month 2 and month 3, right? Month 2 and month 3. So for example, for CPA 1, which is this one, then you should have here this symbol on month 2 and month 3. So we should have this symbol as far as CPA is concerned. Why? Why should we have this? Because what we need to check is the outflow and the inflow, and anything in between will mean that the investment is open. For TBA 1, we don't have anything actually, because we invested in month 1 and on the immediate month, next month it will mature. So there is no open month. Okay, for TBB 1, there is one open month. It's month 2. So we should have this here. Okay, we should have this open investment here. All right, so we have to put that now in our if statement. So let's go back here and let's write that if. Okay, so how do we write the in between? The in between, class.
Function, not sure.
Function, okay. So we can make use of the if
Greater than less than.
if and. Okay, the if and function allows us to write two conditions, and these two conditions have to be met. Okay, so what are these conditions? When will we have an in between? Should be okay. Take a look at this 1-4.
Sir,
Yes.
if the month is great, than the outflow month.
Okay, if the month is greater than the outflow month,
And
and
then less than inflow month.
yes, that's it, diba? Kunyari, here, CPA, if I'm here at month 2 for CPA 1, I'm at month 2. I first compare with the outflow. It should be greater than the outflow. Is it greater than or equal to? Or it should be strictly greater?
Greater, sir.
Okay, it should be greater. Hindi pa pwedeng greater than or equal to, di ba? It should be greater than the outflow and less than the inflow, right? So I'm going to use the if and function, which allows us to generate two conditions at the same time. You know, logical 1, logical 2, okay, and even more. So if our month, if this one, and again, we're going to fix this, $Y5, sorry, the $5, we're fixing the row. If this is what? If this is class greater than our outflow and fix O, right? And the other one is comma. If Y5 fix the row is less
Less
than
than
the inflow, fix the column. All right, so we have that condition, if and, right? So what do we do with that now? Let me close the if and, sorry, should be here, P6, fix P, then, so that's our if, comma, okay, value if true. What will be the value if it's true? If the month that we're looking at is both greater than the outflow and less than the inflow. What
legend,
value are
sir.
you? Sorry?
Yung legend po. na
Yes,
may-
the legend, which is symbol. So quotes, and then less than, 1, 2, 3, greater than there. Diba? Comma,
Blank.
what if value if false? Then wala na. Double quotes na. Nothing already. Right? And then I'm going to close this. Yan, naging itim na siya, no? All right. So we have now here, there are four possible scenarios. There are 4 possible answers, and I'm going to put here 3 ifs. The other is an if and, because there has to be 2 conditions that have to be satisfied. All right. Okay. Enter. So let me first delete this. Delete. Okay, and let me put here the formula for your reference is equal to formula text. Okay, and then let me copy this there. Notice, okay, nothing open here. It stopped here and then down. There you go. Okay, who says that if statement is difficult? Huh? Hello, class. Are you still there? Hello,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
kamusta?
Yes, sir.
Ay, joke lang sinabi ko, ano lang yan. Siyempre, it's also challenging. Siyempre, who would ever have, well, it's a choice. No? You can do this manually or you can do this. If this was a small space, small few number of cells, then no problem. We would have manualized this. But if this was a pretty big number of cells, then I'm sure you will agree with me that this will be very handy.
Sir,
Yes?
sir, can I ask a question lang po regarding Excel?
Yes, sure, sure.
I think doon po kasi kami nagka-problem. Ano pong difference nung different positions ng dollar sign sa cells? Kasi I think nung nag-lock kami is to specific cell lang pero possible din pala yung lock to row and column lang.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you, Rex. That's a good question. No? Okay, so let's suppose you have this this cell address A5. So you have this cell A5. Let's copy this here. Wait, no. So a cell address can it can be relative, which means you're not fixing your column or your row, or it can be wait, sorry. Control C. Control C. Okay, values. All right. So this one, $sign. This one, $sign. And this one, $. Okay, so there are 4 possible cell addresses. Okay, this one is your relative. These ones are your mixed, and this one is your absolute. For relative, you're not fixing either the column or the row. Okay, for this one, $5, you're only fixing the row. Okay, the position that is followed by the dollar is the one that will be fixed. Here it's $5, which means you're fixing row 5. Here it's $A5, which means that you're fixing column A. On the other hand, this one is $5. It means that you're fixing both the column and the row. So when you use this formula, $5, when you copy it to any of the cells, then it will not move anymore. Nakafix na siya dyan, yung $5. On the other hand, $5, when you copy this to any cells, it will not go out of row 5. It can go out of it can move along the columns, but not row 5. On the other hand, this one, $A5, you're fixing $A means that it will not move out of column A. It can move to column 6, it can move to column 7, or it can move to any other columns, but not, sorry, it can move to other rows, row 6, row 7, row 8, but it will not move from column A. Right? On the other hand, this one, $5 means it's totally fixed. So in this case, why $5? Why am I using why $5? Because what I'm testing is this one. This month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So it can go to month 2, which is it's in column Z. It can go to month 7, which is in column AE. But I don't want it to go to the other columns. I don't want it to go to column 10. Because if it moves to column 10, then it moves out of this. Okay? This one. I only want it to move along this because this is what we're testing. Month 1, month 2, month 3, up to month 7. Okay, so that addresses yung why $5. How about this $06? For $06, we're only looking at this one, at this specific column because it's the outflow column. So we only want to move along this. Okay, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, because this is the source of the information of whether this investment is an outflow or not. That's why when I set up the formula, it's $06. I'm not letting it go out of the column because I'm testing if the investment is an outflow. And to know if it's an outflow, I have to use this information. Okay? So that's what this cell addresses mean. We also use the rate, 1 plus the rate. Okay? Why am I using here $N, 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 and then whatever row? Notice here it's $N. Here, 1 plus $N. Because I want my formula, wherever I copy it, not to move from this column. Okay? It can move along other rows, but it should only be at column N because the rates are here. Okay, so it really depends on what you want. It depends on how you're going to copy the formula. Okay, and I made this $Y5, this one $Y5, then we will not get the correct answer because $Y5. Okay, $Y5 means fixing this one. So if we fix this one and we copy the formula elsewhere, then it will not anymore move out of this $Y5. So laging, it will always be here. Okay? All right. Rex, did that answer your question?
Very clear, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sige. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions, class? Okay. So no questions, then we're ready now to answer our problem. Okay. Our problem is we would want to determine the initial investment. That's our, okay, our decision variables are, what are our decision variables? How much to invest in TBA1, TBB1, etc. So these are our decision variables. How much to invest. Okay, and then our objective function is, what's our objective function? We'd like to minimize the initial investment. The initial investment on month 1, because that's where we're going to set up the sinking fund. The sinking fund will be set up on the first month, therefore, we would want this, the sum of TBA1, TBB1, CPA1, and CPB1 to be at a minimum. Okay? All right? So that's why we wrote here the summation of TBA1, TBB1, CPA, or TBA1 plus TBB1 plus CPA plus CPB1 should be minimized. This is our objective function. All right. So let's go to the constraint class. Subject to, what will be our constraint? Subject to, anyone please? Can anyone give me a constraint?
Sir,
Yes.
our investment should be equal to a million.
Wait, huh? Yeah, King Lu, yes, sorry.
Yes. I'm not so sure. Is that our investment should be equal to a million?
I'm sorry, I didn't get it. Which will be equal to what?
I mean, our investment TBA1, TBA1, or the sum of those CFA required
Okay.
is equal to a million.
Is equal to what?
A million, because I saw the second sentence, the total import value is worth 8 million, including shipping costs and taxes.
Oh, okay. 8 million. But remember, King Lu, thank you for that answer. But remember, the 8 million will not be paid on the first month. We were given a layaway plan, an installment plan, a staggered payment. So we will need to pay 2.5 million at the end of the second month, or at the beginning of the third month, and then at the beginning of the 5th month, and then the balance of 3 million at the beginning of the 7th month. Okay, so we don't need to raise 8 million at the onset. What we need to do is raise a certain amount, minimum amount, put it in these investments, and let it earn interest, so that when we reach at the beginning of the third month, we should have 2.5 million. At the beginning of the 5th month, we should be able to draw out 2.5 million again. And at the end of the 7th month, we should be able to draw out 3 million. Okay? So definitely our initial investment will not be 8 million. It will be something lower than 8 million because we're going to earn. we're supposed to earn from our investment. So that's what we want to determine. What is this minimum investment when we add up all our TBA1, TBA2, TBB1, CPA1, and CPB1? Okay, and we know that this will not be 8 million because our money will earn. It will earn. We will put it here, and then, as I said, just to make sure, what do we need? There are some cash flows that we need. Okay, at the beginning of the 3rd month, we need 2.5 million. Okay, so we need to be able to draw out money, 2.5 million. Okay, and then what else? At the beginning of the 5th month, we need to have 2.5 million, right? Okay, and then at the beginning of the 7th month, we need to have 3 million. Right, so we need these cash flows at the beginning of those particular at the beginning of those months. Okay, so again, our initial investment is TBA1 plus TBB1 plus CPA1 plus CPB1, and we want to minimize this. All right, so the question is, what will be our constraints?
Sir,
Yes.
are those the staggered payments?
Okay. Yeah, what about them? So can we give an example? Can we give one constraint?
Month 3 equals 2.5 M.
All right. So what will be that equation? What will be the equation for month 3? Because it has to be an equation.
Return of investments from initial value.
Okay. Is that an equation?
Not yet, sir.
So kailangan it has to be an equation because remember, we're going to use solver for this. So we have to set up the equation, and we can only communicate with Excel through an equation, right? You know that already. We have to we already identified our decision variables. These are our decision variables. TBA1 is the amount to be invested in TBA at month 1. Okay, TBB5 is the amount to be invested. TBA5 is the amount to be invested in TBA instrument at month 5, etc. So we have this, how many decision variables? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, we have 12 decision variables. And then the question is, how many constraints do we have? Okay. For month 1, do we have any constraint? No, we don't have any constraint for month 1. In fact, the month 1 will be the sum of this will be our objective function. We should minimize this. Okay, for month 2, do we have any cash flow requirement for month 2? None. Okay, so what will be the equation for month 2? And we just take a look at the factors and then take a look at the cash flow. Okay, what will be our inflow for month 2? What will be our inflow for month 2? That's where you need to look at the factors in our table. What will be the inflow for month 2? Class, take a look at month 2.
TBA1,
Yes.
then
TBA1, then what?
only TBA1.
Yeah, TBA1, Chari, TBA1 is the amount that you will invest in TBA at month 1. So what will be the inflow at month 2?
TBA1 times 1 plus rate.
Yes, this one. Diba? This is the inflow, right? It's the rate multiplied by whatever you will invest in TBA1. Suppose this is 100 pesos or 1,000 or 100. So you will invest this in month 1. What will happen to this one? In month 2, it will become 101.8 because you have this factor, right? It will be an inflow. Correct? Plus, correct? Hello?
Okay po.
Yes, sir.
All right. Sure, I'm not getting the yeses of others. Kindly chat, please, if you got it. Whatever you invested in TBA1, which you invested in month 1, how do I know that? It's an outflow on month 1. It will mature on month 2. And how much will I get in month 2? 1.018, which is our factor, multiplied by whatever you invested in month 1 of TBA1, right? So that cash flow will be 1.018, all right, times TBA1, and then what?
Minus
Ano ba,
TBA2.
Cas? Minus,
TBA2.
where did I get TBA2?
Outflow.
Okay, take a look at our factors, class. This one. It's a -1. That means it's an outflow. So -1 times TBA2. You're correct. Thank you. Or -1 times TBA2. But anyway, I'll put -1. That's a factor times TBA2. Okay. That's a very practical equation, and it should be equal to what?
2.5
2.5.
million.
This one. What should this be equal to? Class, what should 1.018 times TBA1 minus 1 times TBA2, what should that be equal to? It should be equal to, yes, it should be equal to,
2.5.
okay, 2.5, it should be equal to 0. Why 0? Why 0? Do we have any cash flow requirement at the beginning of month 2?
None, sir.
None. Okay, none. So what's the implication of this? Whatever we get here, because this becomes 1.018 times TBA1 is equal to 1 times TBA2, right? If we simplify this, this becomes 1.018 TBA1 is equal to 1 times TBA2 or TBA2, which means that whatever we get from TBA1 will all be flowed back to investing in TBA2. Why? Because this is a sinking fund. Everything that we get here should be flowed back to our fund so that it will be used for the specific purpose of funding the purchase of the supplies, right? Is equal to 0 means we're not going to withdraw anything because we're not yet paying. We're not yet going to pay at the beginning of month 2. Okay, is this clear, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we just looked at the factors here. Yeah, that's why we did this, because we would like to know the cash flows of a particular month. Okay, here it will spell out what are the inflows for month 3, what are the outflows for month 3, right? Okay, so this is the cash flow. So this is the cash flow there. Cash flow requirement for month 2. Okay, let's just copy this. All right. How about for month 3? And this is where the table will really be helpful. You don't have to think. So if we did this properly, we know what are the inflows and we know what are the outflows. That's why we took some time. We invested in doing this because it will help us plot our constraint for our linear program. Okay, for month 3, it will be, of course, 1.035 times TBB1, right? Let me just increase this a bit. Okay, so for month 3, it's 1.035 times TBB1, 1.018 plus 1.018 times TBA2. Let's write that. 1.018 times TBA 2, and then plus 1.035 times, is that 1.035 times TBB1? Okay, sorry, times TBB1, okay? And then we have minus TBA3, minus 1 times TBA3. Okay, I'll just remove the one here, minus TBA3. And then, what's next? Minus, what's month 3? Month 3 minus TBB3. So this should be minus TBB number 3. All right. Okay, this is our equation. These are our inflows. 1.018 TBA2 plus 1.035 TBB1, and then minus TBA3 minus TBB3, and that will be equal to what?
2.5.
Equal to what? Yes, it will be equal to, yes, 2,500,000. 2.5 million. Right? Okay, what does this mean? Okay, why do you have this equation? It means that the money that we will be getting from our investment in TBA2 plus the money that we will be getting from our investment in TBB1, subtract the money that we'll put in TBA3 minus the money that we'll be putting into TBB3, the balance should be equal to 2.5 million. So we're setting aside 2.5 million. Okay, what are we going to use this 2.5 million for? To pay for our supplier, because at this month of beginning of month 3, we need to pay our supplier 2.5 million. Therefore, whatever we get minus whatever we put in the other investment, okay, the balance of that should be used to pay our supplier. And that's what this means. Okay, let me pause for a while, class, and ask you if this is clear so far. Class, feedback, please.
Yeah.
How about the others? Waiting for the responses of others. Please ask questions if you have any questions. We appreciate questions, class, because questions always clarify things. It helps us all. It helps our classmates. So please don't be ashamed to ask questions. Okay. All right. Good. I think everybody answered in the affirmative. And then that goes through for month number 4. So for month number 4, so this is the advantage of having spelled out our factors. 1.058 times CPA1 plus 1.018 times TBA3 minus TBA4 minus CPA4 is equal to 0. That means everything that we will get, we will put either in TBA4 or CPA4. Nothing should remain. Because once again, this is a sinking fund and everything has to be used for the payment of the supplies. And same thing for the beginning of month 5, 1.035 times TBB3 plus 1.018 times TBA4 minus TBA5 minus TBB5 should be equal to 0. Okay, so that's month number 5. The same thing, that's, okay, I'm sorry. For month number 5, this should be equal to 2.5 million. For month number 6, which is 1.018 times TBA5 minus TBA6, that should be equal to 0. So whatever we get from TBA5 should be invested in TBA6. And lastly, notice in the last month, They're all inflows. Okay, why are they all inflows? Why are there no outflows here, class? Anyone? Why are there no outflows?
Sir, try.
Yes, sige.
Because we shouldn't invest more because by month 7 we should be already able to cover the 8 million.
Exactly. On month 7, we will have to pay, at the beginning of month 7, you will have to pay 3 million. So no need reinvesting because this already closes our transaction. By the beginning of month 7, we should have already paid the balance of 3 million. Okay, whatever we get, everything should equal to 3 million. Everything should be used to pay our supplier. And then that closes this cash plan for our investment, for our operating expenses for our supplies. Okay, so the equation will be 1.11 times CPB1 plus 1.058 times CPA4 plus 1.035 times TBB5 plus 1.018 times TBA6 is equal to 0. Okay, so please help me now with the equation. All right, can somebody please, let's write everything here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so for month 3, can somebody please dictate to me so that I don't have to look back? Anyone, please? One volunteer and then another volunteer for, okay, I'll just call. Okay, Chari, month number 3, please. Kindly dictate.
1.018 times TBA2
TBA 2 for month 3.
TBB1.
Sorry, TBB
Yeah.
sa month 3 here 1.035 times TBB1, no? Right?
TBB1 po.
And 1.018 times TBA3. Sige, let's start with TBA3. Andito na kasi. 1.018 times TBA3 and then what else?
1.018 TBA. Month
Three.
3 po.
Yeah, and then
TBA2, 1.018 TBA2. Tapos 1.0.
TBA2? Third month, huh? Okay, sorry. 1.018 TBA2. Yeah, you're correct. Thank you. Sorry. Sorry.
Tapos plus 1.035 po.
Dala, TBA2. And then, bakit pareho, no? Dala,
Plus
month 2.
wala po
Wait.
yata.
Sorry.
Month 1.
Yeah. I stand corrected. This is month 3. Okay, kaya pala eh. Okay, this is month 3. So 1 point. We already did month. Wait. We did month 2. So month 3 is TBA.
TBA2, 1.035 times TBB1 minus TBA3 minus TBB3.
So 2 plus 1.05 TBB1 minus TBA3 minus TBB3, right?
TBB1 po. Tama ba? Minus
1.018 TBA2 plus 1.035 TBB1.
Yes po, TBA3 minus TBB3.
TBA3 minus TBB3 is equal to 2.5.
2.5. Yes.
Right, okay. Thank you. Okay, next. Next volunteer, please. Come on, guys, so that we don't waste time. Anybody?
Sir,
Sige.
month 4.
Yeah, month 4. Okay.
1.058 times CPA1.
Simula muna tayo sa TBA kasi yung TBA2 naka-spell out ko na dito.
TBA2.
TBA 1, TBA muna. 1.018 times TBA 3, di ba? Tama?
A3, sir.
Yeah,
Opo.
A3. So let's start first with TBA and then TBB. Ano? Meron ba?
TBB,
Wala, no?
wala, sir.
Wala. Then next is
CPA,
TBA
CPA.
Ha? CPA. Okay, sige.
1.058 times CPA 1
1.058 times
times CPA 1
CPA 1. Okay?
minus TBA 4
CPA 1 minus TBA
TBA 4
4. Okay?
minus CPA 4
Minus CPA 4. CPA 4. There. Equal to
0.
0. Yan. So this is the requirement for month 4. Okay, thank you. Next, please. Next. Volunteer, please. Guys, please don't let me call you.
1.5.
Yeah. Next. Yeah. Thank you. Month 5.
Ah.
Sige.
For month 5 is 1.035
Ah,
times
TBA muna tayo.
TBA,
TBA
okay.
4, no?
1.018 times TBA 4
Okay.
plus 1.035 times TBB 3.
TBB 3. Okay.
Then for minus TBA 5 minus TBB 5.
TBA 5 minus TBB 5. Yeah. And this should be equal to 0. Okay. And this is the cash flow requirement for month 5. Thank you. Thank you. And then month 6. Next, please. Ay, for month 5. Di ba, ano, for month 5, 3.5 million.
2.5, sir.
Oh, 2.5 million dapat, no? So mali ako dito. This should be 2,500,000. Okay, there. All right, month 6, please. Volunteer, please, month 6. Hello.
Sir,
Yes, thank you.
this is King Yu. And then for month 6 is 1.018 times TBB 5.
TBA 5.
Oh, TBA 5. Yeah, sorry.
TBA 5, yeah, it's okay. And then
Then minus TBA 6.
minus. So minus
TBA 6.
TBA 6. Okay, nothing more?
And yes, and equal to 0.
Equal to 0. Yeah, good. All right, so this will be a cash flow requirement for month 6. And finally, okay, volunteer again, please. For month 7, it will be all plus 1.018 TBA 6. Okay, and then 1.035 TBA 5. What else, class? Hello.
CPA 1.
CPA 5.
No. 1.058 times CPA 4.
4. Okay, 1.058 times CPA 4.
Then
Then
plus
yung CPB.
1.11
1 plus
times.
to, di ba? 1 plus. 1 plus.
Yep.
And then
Plus.
we have here plus
Plus
1.11
yep, times CPB 1.
CPB 1. Yeah. And it's equal to 3M.
Yep.
All right. That one. Okay, kindly validate, please. So we have cash flow requirement for month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, month 6, month 7. Okay. So does this require an integer requirement? No, these are money matters. Does this require non-negativity?
Yes po.
Okay. Let me just all decision variables greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so this is your non-negativity or logical constraints. Okay. Sorry, I just shortcutted it. Okay, so, well, we have set up our LP already. So that takes care of our, number one, of our decision variables. What are our decision variables? TBA1, TBB1, up to TBA6. So these are the amounts to be invested in these instruments. Then the objective function is, this is a minimization problem. Minimize Z is equal to TBA1 plus TBB1 plus CPA1 plus CPB1. So these are your initial investments. And then we have here, okay, the constraint for month 2. Okay, this just sums up all your inflows and your outflows. Okay, and then equate it accordingly to the cash flow requirement of that specific month. For month 2, it's 0. This implies that everything that we'll get from our investment should be flowed back to the outflow. All the inflows should be flowed back to the outflow. And then for month 3, all the inflows netted against all the outflows. The outflows are the ones that we're going to flow back to investment, should be equal to 2.5 million, which means that anything that we got, we have to set aside 2.5 million, set aside to investing again, and setting aside 2.5 million. The 2.5 million we're going to use to pay. The others will be used to roll over our investment so that we have some amount to withdraw in the coming months. All right, so that's the story of this one. For month 7, beginning of month 7, it will be all inflows, okay? All inflows, and then all the inflows should be equal to 3 million. And this addresses our cash flow requirements. All right, so we can now, okay, we can now set up our model. We can now solve for this using solver. This one is our, okay, this one is our initial, this one is our decision variables, right? Okay, so we have this already, and we can just, I'll color this light blue. All right. Let me fix the borders of this so that it looks better. Okay. This one. Okay. All right. So anyway, you can do the formatting yourselves. Okay. So we have the decision variables here. Where do we put our objective function? Where should we put our objective function? Okay, so maybe I'll insert some cells here. Insert. Okay, so that I just want to separate it from the problems here. Okay, so any suggestion, class? Where can we put our initial investment? We can put it here, anywhere here. Okay, let me just put it here. I'll put it in dark. Okay, there, for easy visual, for me to easily. So this is our initial investment, right? Initial investment. So this is our investment at time 1. Okay, so what's our formula here, class?
Summation of
Summation, yes, summation of what?
TBA1, TBB1, CPA1,
Okay.
CP.
All right, so pwede, no? Isa-sum up natin to, no? don't want this. Sorry, let me just fix the. Okay. So this will be equal to equal to what, class? Can manually sum this up, right? What are initial investment? This one, right? Okay, or you can use either the sum ifs or sum if. Okay, let's use the sum ifs function. Sum ifs. What's our sum range? What will we be adding? This one. Okay, we'll be adding that. And then what's our criteria range? Where will it be coming from? This will be our criteria range, comma. And what will be our criteria? Our criteria is 1. There. Which means that all that are ones here will be added here. Okay? Outflow, lahat ng 1 dito will be added here. Okay, take a look at that formula. Okay. Let's just test, no? If I put here 100, 100, and then 100. So it will just be 100 because it will only add those that are ones here. If I put something here 100, then it will not add because this is month 2. Okay, if I put here 100, it will add it. Okay, so let me put here the formula text. Okay, for your reference, okay? Sum ifs, conditional sum. Let me delete this. Okay, so that takes care of our decision variables. Then we have now our objective function that leaves us with the constraints, okay? Which are these ones. So we have to have our left-hand side and our right-hand side. So this is very easy because we already have our, okay, so let me just increase this a bit. Okay. All right. So what's the best thing for us to do here? Any suggestion, class? Fastest way we can set up these constraints. So this is just the product of your factor and your decision variables, right? 1.018 times TBA1. So this is 1.018 times TBA1. So what do you think is the best way for us to write our constraints? Should be any suggestion, class? Suggestion? Okay. All right. So in the interest of time, class, I'm sure you will be able to answer this given enough time. So we can just get a function that we learned before. And that's equal to sum product, where you get this is a lot easier than having to one by one set up your left-hand side here. You just get the sum product of your factors, right? And your decision variables. The sum product of your decision variables. And we need to fix this. F4. Fix the what? Fix the column. Because we're going to copy this to the right. Okay? Our row position will not be changing. So no need to fix the row. Just fix the column so that it will remain column P. So that's why I'm fixing column P. And then sum product of this one with our factors. So what will that do? It will multiply this times this times this. Of course, these are text, so it will be 0. Okay, if you multiply this text with a number, it will be nothing. So this is just the same as 1.018 times this one, which is TBA1, minus this minus 1 times TBA2, which is our constraint for month 2. All right, so that's the sum product. Control Enter. All right. And okay. And I copy this to the right. Okay, then check, please. Check this. Okay, you have to check. Okay, your last cell here is the sum product of this one and this one. So that's correct. Okay, so make it a point when you copy formulas. Copy it to the right, then check. Did I get the formula at the last cell correct? Yeah, it's correct. Okay. All right, then of course we can now put here the required cash flow for month 2 is 0. Here it's 2,500,000. Okay, we can just put it at 25, so this will be in thousands to make it. Okay, anyway, let me put 2,500,000 here. Let's just increase this one to allow for control 1 and then number. Let me put separator, and then let's not put the centavo anymore. Okay. All right. By the way, this is the left-hand side, so we put it in a color scheme so that we know that these are your left-hand sides. Sorry, this is not 2.5 million. So this is also 0. And then 2.5 million, 2,500,000. This is 0. And then this is 3 million. Okay. All right. So let me pause for a while and allow you to also construct your own, allow you time to catch up. Okay, so that takes care of our model. Okay, so you can see it's in a neat format. So once you're done with setting up the model, kindly please chat so that I know if we'll conclude with this model. Okay, thank you, Chavi. So let's wait for the feedback of your classmates. Okay, please tell me if you're done, class. Okay, kamusta, class? I'm not getting any feedback. Ready na ba tayo na isolve to? Kindly chat please if we're okay to solve this. Okay, done na ba? Okay, sige. All right, so we can now solve this. So we have data. Then solver. Okay, what's our objective? Our objective is our initial investment, right? We want this to be minimized. And then our changing cells are this one. How much to be invested in each of these? And this is subject to add, subject to this net cash flows should be equal to these amounts. All right? Okay. And then non-negativity here, non-negativity, and then we can use of simplex linear program. Okay, so that will be our okay. Wait. Let me just okay, solve P19, may I check P19, okay. Solve. Okay, solver found a solution. All constraints and optimality conditions are satisfied. Let's check our solution. Okay, let's format this. Control 1. Okay, number. Let's just remove the decimal places. Okay. All right. So our initial investment will be 7.4 million. It will not be 8 million. We said that. Huh? It will not be 8 million. So we need to raise 7.5 million. 7.5 million in order to okay. You also control 1. In order to have the required cash flows. Okay, so note that, class. We have a project worth 8 million. And because of this cash planning, and because of we were able to identify potential investments, then we just needed 7.4 million to roll over. Okay, this is the initial investment. So we put it in TBA1. Okay, we put 2.412 million in TBA1, around 5 million in CPA1. Okay, so these were the two investments that we have for the first month. Okay, this one. Then we can trace here the cash flow. Okay, we can trace here the cash flow. So for the first month, we have this one. So let me just quickly trace this. Okay, what happens at month 2? So we have this. This was our investment in TBA1. Multiplied that by the factor. Okay. So on month 2, our initial investment of 2412 in TBA1 will mature to become 2445, right? Okay. Then 244,245,5796. Our investment at CPA1 will still be open. And then what happens? This is -1. We're going to invest. How much are we going to invest? 244,245,5796 to TBA2. Where will that be coming from? This one. The amount that will mature here from TBA1, all of it will be flowed back to TBA2. 2445796, 2445796. All right? You can trace, class, you can trace all the cash flows and you can see that it's exact to the nearest centavo. Okay? All right. Any questions? And all
Sure.
our constraints were satisfied.
Sir, question.
Yes? Yes.
Nung mag-solver ako, possible po ba yun na walang 0 for TBA1, TBB1, CPA1, CPB1, tapos TBA2 yung meron?
Yeah, pwede. That means there's an alternative solution. Can you kindly share your screen, please? Stop sharing.
Medyo magulo lang sir, hindi ko na format
Sige.
ayos.
Okay lang. Tingnan natin yung mga never mind the formatting. Okay.
Ito sir.
So ito yung solution. Okay. Teka muna. Asan yung zero yung ano mo eh? Where's your objective function? Where's your initial
Ito sir.
investment? Sum ng L10 to L13. Okay. Minimize siya. Okay. Hindi pa pwede yan, no? Sige, check natin. May I see your Q22. May I see your Q22 muna, yung formula. There. Sige nga, F2 mo. F2.
Naka-F na sir.
Okay. L10 to L21, naka-fix siya. Okay lang. Q10. Okay. Can you go to V22, just to check. F2. Tama. Ay, hindi na mo gumalaw. Oh. Ay, hindi. Tama pala. Tama. Maybe you should remove yung row 9, kasi nakaka-confuse to yung 2.5, 2.5. Anyway, andi dito naman siya sa baba, no? So, okay yung your left-hand side is okay. All right. Wait. So, 0, 0, 0 yan. Sige, tingnan nga natin solver mo. Let's look at your solver. All right. L22. Let's minimize. Changing cells, L10. Could you kindly click L10 to L21? Yeah, that's correct. And then dito, ito. Yung constraints mo, R22 is equal to R23. Okay, ang question, why only R? Why only T and why only V? Why didn't you impose also yung Q, yung S, at saka yung U? Kaya nga nag-zero siya, kasi minimum to di ba? So your constraint, please change your constraint. Okay, delete mo siya. Delete mo lahat. Okay, add natin yung constraint. Lahat yan, everything there. Okay, should be equal to everything below. Isama mo yung sa Q. Yan, hanggang dulo. There. Oo. Sige, okay na yun.
Okay.
Cancel na. Ayan. Tama ba? Ba't iba yung answer mo? 4.7 million. Okay. May I see again your formula for L22? Sum of L10, L11, L12, L13. Tama. Okay, that's correct. Okay. Ano tong Okay. Naglagay ka lang din ng formula dito. 0, 0, 0, 0. 2.5, 2.5. 3 million. 3 million. Okay, add mo nga. Sige, enter mo. Iba tayo. Ba't 4.7 million? 4.7 million. Parang that's too low. 2 at saka 2. 4 million. Yeah. May I see your formula sa sa Q22? Okay, tama. Sige. Enter mo. Tapos, Tama naman yung formula mo. No? Pati nga ulit ng solver parameters. Sige, ulitin natin. Kindly delete all your decision variables. I-escape mo muna. Delete mo muna natin, no? Delete mo siya. Okay, sige. Solver ulit tayo. Tapos, reset all mo muna. Reset all mo. Sa baba, yan. Reset all. Okay, sige. Start tayo. That's your decision variable minimize. Your changing cells are... hindi. Yung changing cells mo lahat.
Ayun.
Decision variables lahat yan eh. No? Yan. Okay. And then, add mo yung constraints. Add. Should be. Yan. Tama ba? Q22. Sige. Ang bilis mo. Sige. Okay. Pati nga ulit yung constraints mo. Ba't may 202 ka doon? May mali. No? Q22 to V22 should be equal to Q23 to V23. Tama. Sige. Okay. Tama siya. L10 to L21. Tama. L22. Tama. Minimize. Sige nga. Solve mo ulit. Solve. Okay. So something's wrong here. Kasi hindi, may ano ka, yung investment mo sa TBA3, 202,000 lang. Okay. Something's wrong here. Wait tingnan natin mga factors mo. 1.08, 1.045. TBA2. TBB. Okay. Yung TBB3 mo, mali yung factor mo.
Okay.
Dapat palitan mo yung TBB3. Di ba dapat 3.5 yan? Dito sa ano, sa rate. Sa rate mo lang yan. Sa rate, sa column M. Ayan, no? TBB3.
Ito ba?
TBB. Yung susunod yan. Sa baba
Okay.
yan. 5.8 yung lagay mo eh. Dapat 3.5 yan. So that will matter, no? Kasi, okay, sige, solve mo ulit.
I-check ko na lang po ba separate?
Sige,
For
check mo na
interest
lang
of
ha.
time?
Check mo yung mga rates mo, no? Baka malamang yan sa rates, no? Yung pa rin, no? TBA3 mo, 1.8% pa rin. No? Dapat 3.5 yan.
Sige,
Yung
check ko
TBA,
na lang.
no? Tama pa, TBA is 1.8. Sige, check mo na lang. But yung, tama naman yun, tama naman yung model mo, no? Alright, sige. Thank you. Okay, so, sana tayo? Okay, let me just end class. Okay, it's already 4:30, and we cannot anymore start with the DEA. So next meeting, DEA tayo, and we start with network analysis. So DEA is data and developmental analysis. It's a very interesting aspect of linear programming kasi ang ginagawa dun, kino-compare yung performance ng mga units, no? Ng mga branches, ng mga entities, given certain inputs and outputs. So we'll do that next meeting. Plus, we also start with network analysis. We also have an example of integer linear programming. Okay? All right. Any questions, class?
Sir, yung ano po, yung start, ano ba to? Yung group, ay yung ano namin,
Which one?
yung isa-submit po. 3 weeks from now.
Ano
Saan niyo po siya ibibigay?
magpo-post ako mamaya. Magbibigay ako ng announcement tapos sa you'll have to go to the Google Sheet para ilagay niyo Wait, I'll post the required yung case. Okay, tapos yung requirement ng project. Yung project kasi 'di ba? Kayo yung gagawa, kayo mag-set up, kayo mag-identify kayo ng company, tapos you write about an application in that company, a linear program. Okay, siyempre isosolve niyo yun, identify yung parameters, yung constraint, etc. And then you will also write a parang management letter, susulat niyo sa management na ito yung pinopropose na na gagawin. Siyempre papasok din yung sensitivity analysis. Okay?
Okay po, noted. Yung ano po, pwede pong pa-upload ng Excel? Yung sa inyo po?
Yung Excel.
Excel nyo po. O,
Bakit?
kasi
Bakit,
meron naman
Chari?
po,
Ayoko
para
nga.
po ma-compare ko yung sa akin.
Of course, of course. Sige,
Kasi
sige.
po,
Sure.
yung result ko is
Ba?
similar dun kay Rex. So, I would like
Okay.
to know what happened.
Sige, sige.
Sige.
Ipopost ko na ngayon para kasi sandali lang. Para sure tayo. Cash
Sige.
flow. Save ko na to. File, save as. Cash flow. Ano ngayon? March 18?
March 18.
18, 2023. Save ko na siya. Save. Tapos i-close ko. Close ko na muna. And then, kasi hindi ko yata siya masisave pag naka-open sa
Yes.
sa na to. Sa Canvas. So, modules. Okay, para may ebidensya ako na pinost ko. Ayan. Plus, okay, popost ko rin mamaya yung video. File. Alright. Create file. Choose file. Okay, so andito siya it's here in desktop, and where is linear programming? Linear optimization, and then cash flows March 18 there. Okay, add item. Okay, and then na-post ko na dito sa section, anong section to? 059. Okay, sa inyo, Chari, hindi ko...
62 po.
Ipopost ko rin. Ba't galit ka?
Hindi ako galit sa...
Hindi, galit ka. Sige. I-ano ko na ngayon. Sisend ko na ngayon, ha?
Okay lang po.
Okay, sige. Thank you, class. Thank you. Salamat.
Okay, thank you po.
I hope you learned something today. Bye-bye. Have a nice weekend ahead. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sige.
Oh, by the way, sir,
Singlu.
I also didn't submit the exercise in the Canvas, but I send the file to your email.
Okay, sige. All right. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. That's noted. Thank you.